Hey guys, welcome back for another Baker Built Sexy Time Tip of the Week. Today we're going to be talking about being duck-footed. Now what that means is if you're standing and you look down and both of your feet are splayed out like this. Now it can be both or it could be just one, but both of your feet are kind of turned out in this direction. Now if that's the case, you got a couple of things you can look at to help fix that. There's a chance it could be congenital, that you were kind of born with. There's just this anatomy, this structure that keeps your feet pointed out slightly, but it's not always the case. If you are one of those people who's born with this sort of situation, there isn't really anything you can do about it other than mobilize, stay limber, and keep the muscles nice and loose, because certain muscles will tighten up in ways you don't want to. If that is not the case, and this is something that you can fix with some mobility, there's a couple of things you can do. One is to take your lacrosse ball and use it on your piriformis. The piriformis muscle is part of your glute muscles. You have this big area here with all that muscle in the back. The piriformis runs this way across the top of it. Now, the technique I'm going to show you will help you find it, but you're going to kind of know what you're looking for. So what I like to do is I like to find a wall where I have some space. You can do this on the ground as well. You'll get more pressure working on the ground. I don't like it as much because I feel like when I'm using the wall, I have more control over it. And I can sort of ease onto it and off of it based on how sensitive it is. So try both, but you figure out what works best for you. For me, I will take the ball, I'm going to place it between my hip and the wall itself. And then I'm just going to hunt around a little bit until I find it. Once I'm in that general area, and if it's the right area, you'll usually know it. It'll be pretty sensitive and pretty tight. I'm just going to work it back and forth. So I'm going to rotate right and left. I'm going to go up and down and just play around with different angles. I can even find the most sensitive part, and I can stop there, and I can take my leg and I can actually turn my hip and my knee. I know it's kind of hard to see with this camera angle, but staying still, I'm going to turn my hip and knee back and forth, and that actually works the muscle fibers over this ball and kind of helps shear the fibers apart and kind of helps break things up. I'm going to do this for both sides because if one is tight, the other one probably is really tight as well. But I'm going to spend at least 2 minutes on each side. And I'm probably going to do that at least 1 to 2, maybe hopefully 3 times a day. The more you can get in little chunks, the better. That doesn't mean sit down and do an hour of this. It means throughout the day, a few minutes here and there on each side. That over time will help change some things up. So after a little bit of time, I'm going to switch to the other side, and then I'm going to make sure this is part of my daily routine. As things get better, it'll be easier and more natural for my feet to stay planted and facing forward, and they won't want to turn out as much. All right? So let me know how that went for you guys. Feel free to email me with any questions, and I will see you guys next time.